Let's make some magic!
Can you guess which Disney movie was the biggest box office flop? Even some of the most critically acclaimed movies didn't live up to their potential. In this video, we're breaking down the movies that soared the highest and sank the lowest. And we've got to warn you, some of your favorites may have made the failure list.
Come on, hurry, let's go!
Number 1. As soon as they hit theaters, the Frozen movies carved an icy path to major success. You'll see that other movies on our list didn't quite take that path, but more on that later. It's no surprise that Frozen 2 is the highest-grossing animated movie ever at a whopping $1.45 billion at the box office.
I never knew what I was capable of.
The sequel to this dreamy winter tale actually beat its own original, who previously held the title. Both movies racked up a ton of awards and remain the new icons of success for Disney Animation Studios. Number 2. You'll be surprised that this fan favorite bombed big time. Despite a budget of $140 million and a star-studded cast of voices, Treasure Planet was one of Disney's most disappointing openings in theaters. It only grossed $110 million worldwide, and its sequel failed to launch due to the failure. We can't say for sure, but there's a big chance this had something to do with its release being the same weekend as a little movie called Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Number 3. Here's another classic we love that's still raking in the money. With re-releases, the Lion King movie reached an impressive $1.083 billion in 1994. It might actually be Disney's most profitable and successful asset. It led to several sequels, like the jaw-dropping live-action remake in 2019, not to mention a Broadway play. But really, it's the movie's emotional scenes and iconic music that still get to us.
Let an old pro show you how it's done.
Number 4. Some fans are calling this movie the Treasure Planet of 2022. That can't be good.
Can you go be dramatic somewhere else?
Strange World has been making headlines since its release for its astronomical failure for Disney. It grossed only $27 million worldwide, with a budget of somewhere between $135 million and $180 million. We don't even want to calculate that loss. Fans were disappointed that the movie didn't live up to the hype it was marketed as, a nod to classic sci-fi adventure flicks. Even the power of Disney can't help some movies from flopping. Number 5. Sometimes all it takes is dipping into a new genre to bring new success. As Disney's first swing at a buddy cop film, Zootopia was a mega box office smash. It grossed $1.024 billion and even won an Oscar for Best Animated Feature in 2017.
Congratulations, Officer Hops. I won't let you down.
Fans are still so in love with the mammal metropolis that Disney Plus released its own miniseries on other Zootopia characters.
I knew you could do it.
Number 6. If you haven't heard of this one, it's known as the movie that nearly killed Disney. The Black Cauldron was about a pig keeper, a princess, a creepy horned guy, and we don't even really understand the rest. It only grossed $21 million at the box office in 1985, and it was the most expensive animated movie ever at the time. Even though it nearly crushed Disney's reputation for animated movies, it did have some firsts for the company. It was Disney's first PG rating and first use of CGI. Too bad the CGI was mostly used to scare the living daylights out of young fans. Number 7. This one's success was as big as its main character. Based on a Marvel Comics comic book, Big Hero 6 grossed an incredible $657.8 million. It won an Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2015 and warranted its own TV series and sequel. It even got a score of 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, another win for Disney. Number 8. Now this one was less of a win, to put it lightly. Disney's Fantasia was a trailblazing movie for its bright colors and abstract art that didn't rely on a typical Disney narrative. It would later inspire out-of-the-box movies like E.T. and Doctor Strange. But it still managed to bomb in 1941. Part of its failure may be that it was ahead of its time. The movie used a groundbreaking surround sound called Fantasound for its incredible music, but most theaters couldn't handle the system, so a lot of the movie was cut down, and it suffered big time. Don't worry though, fans during the 60s took a liking to it for its psychedelic displays. Number 9. Moana was a success for so many reasons. Aside from stunning animation and The Rock's surprising pipes as Maui, this movie marked the beginning of Disney's turn toward representation on the big screen. It included the first Polynesian lead, Moana. It also soared for its music by the famous playwright Lin-Manuel Miranda. Songs like How Far I'll Go are stuck in our heads. Oh, and it also grossed a whopping $643.9 million. Number 10. Turns out what Mars needed was better animation. Mars Needs Moms was based on the novel of the same name and had an underwhelming impression at the box office. It lost an estimated $100 to $144 million and had terrible critical reviews, scoring only 37% on Rotten Tomatoes. It was also slammed for its creepy and low-quality CGI animation. Remember the creepiness of the Polar Express characters? This movie was made by the same animators. Number 11. It can be a gamble when Disney puts their twist on a classic. In this case, it paid off. Tangled is the beloved 2010 take on the original story of Rapunzel. It grossed $592.4 million at the box office, living proof that Disney's modern take on princesses can work.
Didn't know you had that in you back there. That was pretty impressive.
I know!
Number 12. This one might surprise you. As much as it pains us to say, Pinocchio didn't do so well at the box office when it was first released. Even though it's part of the golden age of Disney movies, its debut in 1940 flopped due to theaters shutting down in European markets during World War II. But screenings shortly after the war proved to be more successful, and it went on to win 2 Academy Awards. It even prompted a remake with none other than Tom Hanks, released this year. Number 13. Something about this unlikely duo really worked for Disney. Ralph Breaks the Internet made more than its predecessor, Wreck-It Ralph, scoring $529.3 million at the box office.
My mind is blown.
Fans agree that part of its appeal was its clever representation of the internet world. Like this relatable scene where Ralph gets too deep into Twitter comments and a fan favorite scene with a ton of Disney princesses.
She is a princess!
Number 14. In this case, weird just didn't work. When it came out in 1951, Alice in Wonderland did not connect with audiences. Some believe it was due to the lack of narrative substance beyond the superficial weirdness of it all. In a time of post-war recovery, some think people wanted a movie to connect on family-centered matters, which this film does not. Number 15. Robin Williams as the genie? How could this not have been a hit?
Genie of the Lamp!
Aladdin made history as the first animated film to pass the $500 million mark. It grossed $504 million upon its release in 1992. It later warranted a live-action remake and remains as a Disney movie chock full of fan-favorite characters.
I'm out of here! Bye-bye, you two crazy lovebirds!
Did any of the flops on our list surprise you? Even though some of these movies failed financially, it's important to remember that what makes a fan favorite isn't always in the dollar signs. We want to know if we left out any major failures or successes from our list. Let us know in the comments, and while you're still here, like this video for more and subscribe to The Things Animated if you want to know everything there is to know about your favorite animated movies and TV.